Hello all, this is Megan with Thousand Generation Farms. Today I am, sorry, it's like freezing out and it's windy, and anyways, today I'm going to try to measure our bin. So won't you come farming with us? So, if anyone out there knows the process, if you have a bad, like probably less than average year with yields on the farm, and you have crop insurance, if your yield is lower than like the average of all your yields in the past however many years, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but if it's lower than that, then they will give you some money back usually. Now, we weren't able to do that this year, but that's okay because that means we made enough, so praise God. But usually when they do this, they have to come out and measure your bins to see, you know, if you have grain stored in a bin, to see how much grain you have, like so that they can figure your yields in order to compare them to the average yields, if that makes sense. Sorry, kind of confusing. Anyways, so usually the crop insurance guy comes out and measures our bin because we just have corn in one bin. Well, I wanted to figure out if I could do that myself. I really like math. I know I'm like the only one out there, but I figured maybe it'd be like a good thing to know how to do. It's gonna be a rough estimate, but I did find another YouTube video that shows you how to do it, so I'm gonna try it. So bear with me. It's probably going to be a super redneck process just because I have a child and it's cold out, but we're going to do it. All right, here we go. So we are measuring this bin. First I want to tell you, like I said, it's going to be a really rough estimate because Joseph filled it pretty full. So sorry, I'm out of focus here, but there may be grain above the rim here. We haven't taken anything out of there, so that stuff I'm not going to really be able to account for. As you can see, there's rings. What we're going to do is measure the volume of one ring and then just basically do some math. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 rings, so we're just going to do the volume of the first one and then take it times 6. When I would do this on my own without asking Joseph for his advice, I would try to do the volume of this too, but he said that is the flooring. So I'm not gonna measure this at all. We're just gonna do this, the first ring there. What I could do is climb the ladder and kind of bang on the side and see if I can kind of hear, you know, where it starts to be hollow, which would be like, oh, there's no corn there, but we already know that the corn is basically at least at the top of the rim. So I'm not gonna do that, and I am not a huge fan of heights. So here we go. So what I'm doing here is using this long string. I'm just going to tie this string here, go around. It's not, I don't think it's big enough to go around the whole thing. So I'm gonna mark it with my Sharpie, and then I'm gonna come back here and go this way, mark it with my Sharpie, and then I'll take it inside and I'll measure and add it all together because we need to know the diameter of the bin. And then I'm basically probably going to do the same thing with the string because I did bring the tape measure. I'm just going to measure from here to here, and then I will line the rope up like my markings to a tape measure, and I'll use that height. And then I have some formula I need to put these numbers into, and I know that's kind of boring, but I will show you. I'll make it really fun, and then we'll figure out what hopefully what we can hold in this or what we have in this bin. Joseph thinks it's around 6,000, I believe, 6 to 7, so we'll see. Okay, so I have this here. I kind of tangled it. It's super this experiment. I guess that's what happens in Nebraska when it gets cold. So I'm gonna have some barriers right there. I told you it was gonna be redneck, right? I guess that makes for a funnier video, maybe. I don't know. My channel's not supposed to, or it's not really a comedy channel because I'm not that funny. That's Joseph, but okay. Okay, so we're going around the bend. Oh my lens. This is gonna be really fun. Okay. Is anyone else out there with like a farming operation just have junk everywhere? I think, you know, you just run out of storage and then you just put stuff places and then you forget about it. Okay, so slowly but surely we're working on it. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna do this part, but I guess we'll figure it out. So I'm not making you guys car sick, video sick. Okay, so I'm gonna just say that that's pretty close. Okay, so we'll just say right to this limb. I'm gonna mark that. Okay, so I have it going that way. I marked it over on that end, and then I marked it here. So I told you that this is the way it goes, but this is where I'm starting. Now what I'm gonna do is pull this. And hope that I can get it to come this way without tangling up. Is this the easiest way to do it? Heck no, it's probably the hardest way. But, and see, this is gonna have to go over those. Maybe I'll add an inch to it. I don't think it'd be too bad. It'd be really easy if I had like one of those flexible tape measures. It's okay. So, got this going on. Hopefully we have enough string here. I gotta go on this ledge, little crud bucket. If I end up in the emergency room, I'll let you know. Okay, so I'm here. I'm gonna mark that. Okay, so now I got that side measured. This is gonna probably be a pull this up. I know what I'm gonna do quick, just to make my life a little simpler. I'm gonna take this and just go like this. I'm gonna mark it there. That way I know I need to measure that as well. And then the measurings are done. Okay guys, so it's about like 8:30 at night. We had kind of a crazy evening, but I'm going to measure my rope now, and I'll kind of show you my chicken scratch of how I'm going to do this, and then we'll walk through the formula and see what we come up with. So basically I have the bend drawn out. I'm a great drawer. I put six rings on there so I remember, and then I'm just gonna measure the rope in increments, write them down here like the different inches, and then we'll add them up, and then I'll do the height. And I think I'm gonna start with the height first. So I have my tape measure here. Let's see where, okay. So I'm gonna start, there's my marking. Let's see, okay, and here's my other marking. So let's somewhat get this straight. Okay, so I have this basically straight. Looks like the height was, we'll just say 30 inches, but maybe it'd be a little bit more. Let's do 30 and a half. And then what I'm going to do, oh, I should leave this down here. I'm gonna do the first long measurement, which we'll do it in increments like I said. Okay, so basically what I did here, this tape measure is a 20 footer, but I just went to 20 feet. And then when I got to 20, I turned it back around, and I'm just gonna subtract from there. So let's see where our marks are. I have one here, so that would be 20 feet plus 20 minus 2, which is 18, so that's 38 feet. Oops. And then, let's see where the other one is. Oh, it is. And that's like 5 and 4 inches, so 5 and a fourth. I think it's 5 and a fourth. 5 and a third. So 20 plus 20 minus 5 is 15, so that's 35 and 4 inches. So 35 feet, 4 inches. Oh, that's great. Chicken scratch. Okay, so now we're gonna plug them in. All right, guys, so after a lot of computing, we did not find the diameter. We found the circumference, and that's 75.5 feet. 6 rings here. Height was 2.5 feet. I had this at like 30.5 inches. I divided it out, so that's about how many feet it was. First, we need the diameter, so you take the circumference divided by pi, and I just rounded this to 4 decimals. Our circumference is this. We divide it by pi, we get this. Then you take this, because this is our diameter, you take the diameter squared divided by 4, take that times pi, and then times your height, and you get 1133 cubic feet. In 1 bushel, there's 1.25 cubic feet. So we take our bushels, or not our bushels, our cubic feet divided by this cubic feet, how many cubic feet are in a bushel, and we get 907, around 907 bushels per ring. Since we have 6 rings, we take 907 times 6, we get a little more than 5,400 bushel in bin, and this is below the peak. So I want to remind you that I just did a really rough estimate from here to how many bushels would be in this area, or the volume of this in bushels. We did fill most of the peak up with corn as well, so I don't, Joseph, do you have a guess how many bushel? Do you think like 100 bushel or like a couple hundred bushel in the peak? Okay. 500. Okay, so we're probably close to maybe 6,000 bushel. I think, I don't know if it was, maybe my father-in-law said between 6,000 and 7,000 bushel for that bin. So we're pretty close to right on. So not too hard to do that math. You just have to have the right measurements, which I'm sure I was telling Joseph that if I am even just like an inch or 2 off, it could add a couple hundred bushels. So I definitely could be like 500 bushels more or less on this. But anyway, so not too hard. Well, guys, that is all. Thank you for joining us today. We'll try to get more cool tractor videos out to you soon. But hope you have a awesome weekend, and we'll see you next time on 1000 Generation Farms.